Welcome back, everyone. Big shout out, Logos. I get it, brother. You've got to go back to work. You'll be listening in. Big shout out to you. And it's a special day today. It's a birthday for one of our own. Yes, that's right, folks. Today we are going back down under. Yes, indeedy. Have I got some Australian woo for all of you? It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a quick one because I'll be going live with Scotty Lopez in under an hour from now. So yes, there we go. A little bit dark in here today. Hang on a minute. Better. Hopefully better. So yes, as I was saying, it is going to be a really quick one today. I'm going to be going live with Scotty Lopez with content that you wouldn't dare put anywhere near here. But it's one of our very own listener slash viewer slash family members' birthdays today. Yes, indeed. It's that handsome devil you see scrolling across the bottom of your screen. And since it's his birthday today, we're going to put the Wookiee right up here with me. Yes, pride and place, Wookiee. And there you go, man. Happy birthday to you, Wookiee. I'm going to be a complete gentleman and not out your age. I know some streamers wouldn't do that, but I've got your back, brother. And yes, that is our Wookiee. And happy birthday to you, sir. The last time I played Happy Birthday on the show, we got a copyright strike. So I'm not going to be going there today, no. And my son has got some football on in the background, if you're wondering why it's all wow around here. Yes, that's all it is. It's no big, massive secret, no. But a quick tickle of the chat room as people come in for this very quick stream. And got some really good stuff to get into today. Because usually we talk about Australia. In recent times we've had Jess, Mammoth Hunter, coming on and co-hosting. After she had done a couple of shows herself and her husband Dan. Then we had Bruce Fenton coming onto the show. The Into Africa Theory of Human Evolution. And then, of course, we formed a really close bond with Auntie Luna and Uncle Donnie. And when Uncle Donnie goes out and about and does his thing during the day, us white men, we would call it the outback. But they call it country. Well, today, we're not going to be looking at some archaeological find from country. We're going to what the Aboriginal people refer to as the sea country. And it's just as sacred. And we're going to be going underwater for some Australian archaeology today. So grab your snorkels. We'll be going there in just a moment. But nothing as it seems in the chat room. We've got the Wookiee in there. And no Wookiee, thank you. Thank you, brother, for everything. Little Glob. Connie, the weapon times 5. We've got Billy Joe kicking about in there. Hilarious. I dropped Billy Joe the link for the show, and she goes, "Oh, what have they found? Is it the Sasquatch?" You know, I had to tell her, come on, Billy, get your cryptids in order, woman. You know, sort it out. Everyone knows if you find a Bigfoot down in Australia, it's called a yowie, right? So we had a big kind of laugh before the show, and yes, you need to get your cryptids in order, folks. How can you hope to save the world, make it a better place, if you don't have your pesky cryptids in order? I don't know. But I'm glad I made you laugh, Billy. That's what it was intended to do. And had a good chat with Bison that we see in the chat room here, often super chats today. He was asking me my take on some of the bigger things going on in the world. That was quite fun. We've got Tori, ZX, Onslow, Logos, good to see you. I've mentioned you, you're working. We've got AJ McCammond in there as well. Good to see you. Lewis, Sean Stradamus. Why should I even bother streaming? Sean, tell us what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks, months, years. I'm keen to know. In fact, just what's happening tomorrow would be good enough, because the world's getting crazy. Cray. But, you know, been a good day today. I haven't been on social media, hardly at all. And caught some really big news that was breaking earlier on. Not such a good day for some people. And yeah, probably be talking about some of that over on the main show today from 10 p.m. in the UK, and that's 48 minutes from now. And that'll be 5 p.m. on the East Coast, 2 p.m. on the West Coast over on tfrlive.com, or you can listen in over on Discord as well. So I'll get back to the chat room before we leave again today. And Logos, probably one of the funniest things I've read in the chat for a long time. He's cleaning out another AC unit, and it's, I quote, hotter than a demon's armpit out there. I'm sorry, dude, but I'm going to be stealing that one from you. That's classic. Hotter than a demon's armpit. I mean, it leaves nothing to the imagination. We've got Rorschach, Mad, Tweedle coming in as well. Not Rorschach, Mad, Tweedle. Not all one thing. Two separate people. But listen, I'm just talking crap now. I'm talking mints. If you didn't catch last night's show with Kevin McCairn, oh, what a doozy that was. After some initial technical hiccups, and I'm not surprised. We were trying to go through Zoom to Skype to Discord, and then he was doing things on his end. I was going to another Skype for TFR. It was horrendous, but we got there. We got there in the end, and it was worth it, because the information that Kevin was going over, really worth your time, for your consideration, I would say. I'm not telling you to agree with all of it. I'm just saying it's probably well worth your time listening to what Kevin has to say on last night's subject. So then, let's go over to Studio B. There we are. Right then. So, we're going to Australia. And like I say, it's not your typical archaeological find. Usually when we talk Australia or any archaeology, we're more akin to talking about terra firma, you know, dry land, Göbekli Tepes, Egypt, Stonehenge, Clava Cairns, all the good places we always talk about. And then today, this is the headline right here that really, it kind of solidified what I was going to be talking about. It was one of the first stories I'd come across. And as you can see, it's the number one on the Daily Mail there. And rightly so, because as you can read, but I'll go over it briefly for you, Aboriginal stone tools dating back 8,500 years, discovered off the coast of Western Australia, mark out the sites of two ancient settlements submerged underwater since the last ice age. And it's going to be great to get Mammoth or Bruce Fenton's take on this article, because of course they talk about the movement of people out of Australia. And it's not really that hard to imagine, you know, land masses joining all this up to the point where you could have literally walked out of Australia. But today we're dealing with, was it the West Coast? Western Australia. So if we come back here, we're dealing with over this end, okay? Down here somewhere. And we're going to find out as we dig deeper into this article. Don't think I'll go over all of it. We'll take a look at some of the interesting images. We'll get the highlights. I'll give you the link. I urge you to check it out for yourself. But I've also got some other really cool archaeological type stuff that blends the ancient past, like ancient past, with today and into the future type stuff. That's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not teasing you anymore with that one. Let's see what it says here. So the divers found 2 underwater Aboriginal sites off the coast of Western Australia. And it's really be really interesting to see what Luna and Jess and Donnie make of this, because as I was saying, the Aboriginal people, they still recognise the ancient lands, i.e. the stuff that is underwater now, as being sacred, because their ancestors once walked these lands. So it's going to be interesting to see how sensitive this kind of search was to the Aboriginal culture. And yeah, I'm going to be interested to ask them the next time they go on the show. And of course, Donnie, he showed us this ancient, absolutely massive axe head that had been made out of stone before, hinting at some of the stuff that the Aboriginal people were kicking about with, or maybe even peoples more ancient and bigger than them. Make of that what you will. But if we come down here, once above sea level, but later submerged. Okay, we'll get through that. So this is basically one of the big things they're on about here, folks. And it says 2 previously unknown Aboriginal sites have been discovered off the coast of Western Australia. An archaeologist found, or archaeologists found, stone tools and evidence of human habitation off the Pilbara coast, the first Aboriginal sites to be discovered underwater. That's what makes this so absolutely epic and huge, in my opinion. And the fact that we've got somebody like Jess and Dan, who are trained, qualified archaeologists themselves. And I believe Jess is going to be taking her masters. I think Dan already is. Can't wait to pick their brain about what they make of this, because they'll probably get the inside dirt. That's quite a bit of a pun there, right? Dirt archaeology. I know, poor one. But hey, the ancient settlements were once on terra firma, but became submerged as sea levels surged in the aftermath of the last ice age. So here you get a kind of look at what we're talking about here. And it doesn't tell you what A, B, and C, and D are there, but we'll probably learn that as we come down here. Divers found the 2 underwater sites through a series of surveys in the Dampier archipelago. And the sites at Cape Brugiers, probably butchered that, Brugiers, anyway, and the Flying Foam Passage. What a great name for a place. Only in Australia. I'm surprised it's not Flying Foam Creek or something like that. Billabong. I know it's not a Billabong. I'm just being totally culturally inappropriate now. But it's okay, because we know it's all good fun. So, may provide... I hope I didn't trigger any Australians out there. That's the last thing I want to be doing, okay? May provide insight into Aboriginal way of life from when the seabed was dry, researchers hope. And modern-day Aboriginals still consider these marine environments to be sacred, and they are now known as Sea Country. So it says Chelsea Wiseman, who has been working on the project as part of a PhD research at Flinders University, said, at one point there would have been dry land stretching out 160 kilometres, that's 100 miles, from the current shoreline. And here's kind of part of the world we're talking about. Look at that. Dang. So we'll take a look at these. There's a picture of the diver taking the pictures of things. And I take it this is what they're arguing are spearheads, tools of some description. So here's the actual picture, right up in that corner there. So we were talking about, is it there? Let's see. Yeah, right up to that bit. So round about here, folks, this is where we're talking about. Yeah, there we go. Pretty impressive. Is that some kind of fossil or something that's been in that? It says pictured images and scans taken of one of the artifacts found by archaeologists. This is believed to be a stone tool used by Aboriginals around 7,000 years ago. That's a long, long time, folks. Long, long time. So we come back here, and it says that the land would have been owned and lived on by generations of Aboriginal people. I don't think there was a concept of owning the land back in these times. I don't think there should be a concept of owning land. It should be the people that walk on it, you know. Again, probably for another show. Lived on by generations of ancestral Aboriginal people. Now, as we've learned as well, the reason I said ancestor there is the ancestors of the Aboriginal people and all the ones in between then and now, they don't leave, remember? Remember we were talking about that, and Luna had the most spine-tingling story about somebody who she knew, and then they passed, and long story short, she came into contact with this person, a daughter of somebody that she had known many years ago, and the daughter took her outside and basically broke into speaking like the past friend. It's a brilliant culture to start learning about. I've thoroughly enjoyed getting into the Australian stuff, as you can tell. And I'm determined. I'm sure we have to look back in time right now, especially living at such a critical moment in history. I don't care what people think about all the various things rumbling on in the world right now, but when you take it on whole and you step back and you look at what's going on, we're in one of these times. And by that, I mean 50 years down the line, 100 years down the line. This is going to be an epoch in history that they'll learn about. Like how the story's told. It's his story. So we won't be around to see what they say about now. But that's why I think it's so critical that we are bringing some of that ancient into the modern kind of ancient knowledge into the modern world, because as advanced as we are, and we are, we've forgotten so much as well, and so much of it is really basic, you know, even down to how we treat each other as human beings. And yeah, back to the archaeology before I get too deep and philosophical. I don't even know where I'm going. So our discovery demonstrates that underwater archaeological material has survived sea level rise. Although these sites are located in relatively shallow water, there will be likely more in deeper water offshore. And yeah, not hard to imagine. Now, I'd think with the movement of people, I bring up this here, hang on now. This is some of the maps that Jess and Bruce Fenton provided us. You can see, right, so there's almost a little arrow suggesting travel there. That bit that they're uncovering just happens to be around that tip, that little bit right there. So you could probably see a whole swathe, all that, just off the coastlines. Oh, folks, whoa, Connie.
Happy birthday, Wookie. PP and Pastor Wookie.
Now, the reason you're seeing that absolutely horrendous little zombie thing running about the screen is because That's a Streamlabs super chat, folks. Big thank you to Connie for that. That actually goes straight in. Yours truly will get that immediately via PayPal. Cuts out all the middlemen. So thank you so much, Connie. And happy birthday again, Wookie. I suppose I really need to have a pint for you now. The pubs aren't open. I get that. But you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I think it's a no-brainer what the article said there about there being more stuff to be found. Especially round about this part here, because if people were moving in any direction, you would expect that there would be settlements that spring up along the way. So yeah, it's going to be cool to keep an eye on this one. Maybe now that they've found one, they might find more. I'm going to play a little bit of music for a moment. But before we do, to set up the next story, there's part of me thinks that I kind of called this. I know, I sound like Alex Jones. I called it. I called this months ago. No, but when we were talking about a story to do with the Sumerian texts and the Dead Sea Scrolls and all that stuff, remember they went and seized the bit of the Gilgamesh's epic from the museum in the US, and then they also started finding or reinterpreting some of the Dead Sea Scrolls. At the time, do you remember I was talking about how cool it's going to be when AI gets involved in this? Because it learns from patterns, and we've even talked about the AI and the geoglyphs on the Nazca Plains. Well, we're going to go back, and this is where the ancient meets tomorrow. Because AI is now starting to unlock some of those archaeological secrets that have remained secret until now. It's super exciting, it's super cool. We're going to dip our toe in there next moment and quickly look at that before we change gears. I go and get my man Scotty Lopez and we go live. We'll do it live over on tfrlive.com. So, does anyone remember me saying that? Does anyone remember me going into the little cuneiform and maybe realising it would be able to recognise if something was like a ball hair deeper than something else, and that might totally change the interpretation? Remember all that? Well, it would appear that was already tapping into something that they're obviously using, folks. Check this out. Excuse me. Have I got the coof? No, I'm okay. I'm okay. It's drink a tea and we'll be fine. But look at that. How cool. And this comes from the Financial Times, a publication and a website that they really don't expect people like Kev Baker to be reading. But we found it. We found it today, and I think this is pretty cool. How AI helps historians solve ancient puzzles. You see, this is the kind of thing that AI just loves. Absolutely loves. So digital humanities battle for funding against future-focused applications on artificial intelligence. So I'm not going to go through all of this, but it says uncovering evidence for historical theories and identifying patterns. Remember that, identifying patterns. How many times have I emphasized this patterns, looking for patterns? The patterns lead to the nuggets, and you find those nuggets where? In big data sets. So in the past, events has long been hindered by the labour-intensive process of putting data from artifacts and handwritten records. So the adoption of artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques is speeding up such research and drawing attention to overlooked information. But this approach, known as digital humanities, is a battle for funding against a more future-focused applications of AI. So it says there is a lot of interest in digital humanities, but there is not a lot of money, says Ilan Shemshoni, Professor of Computer Vision and Machine Learning at the University of Haifa in Israel, where he works on archaeological projects that include reassembling artifacts from photos of fragments. So if you want to do an analysis of Facebook, you'll get much more money than if you want to look at ancient Greek artifacts. So archaeological puzzles may not seem as urgent as computer science projects in healthcare, finance, and other industries, but applying algorithmic techniques to historical research can improve AI capabilities. So you basically train it with all that big data sets that already exist there. I get the idea. Pretty cool. Says Ayelet Tal, an archaeological and computer science researcher at Israel's Technion University. So restoring or recreating archaeological artifacts is a complicated problem for computer vision models. Previous work, algorithms learning to reassemble photos of documents, for example, has not accounted for the degradation of fragments, unclear images, or precise piece fitting. And over time, the detail, the ability of the AI to fill in those very blanks, that's what we're getting towards. Remember Scott Lopez was talking about Flight Simulator? And even when there's like data, maybe an image is obscured of a building and it taps into Bing Maps, well, it doesn't produce that broken building as it sees it. It predicts the part that's missing. And over time, they'll only get better at that kind of thing. And don't panic, folks. Don't panic. We're not on the verge of unleashing some demonic Indiana Jones type AI that's going to take over archaeology and destroy it all. It's not going to be like that. It's almost like, think of the facial recognition technology that learns what? To recognize faces. More and more faces, better and better it gets. Well, it's just patterns because it breaks the faces down into almost like a polygonal structure and it puts points on it and measures these points and it's all angles and calculations and my head exploded. But you can do that for anything. For anything if you know how to break it down and put that points on it and put it into that digital form, and then that machine learning takes place. And we've all been training them over the years. You know that. All these CAPTA kind of things. You know, click all the images that have traffic lights on them, a cucumber on them, a cat, a Wookiee. You feel me? And any time it was wrong, well, that's when it's reinforcement training. It learns from its mistakes. It goes, aha, so that there me no likey. And it gets better and better. And I know, AI goes from really basic in your kettle, in your you know, smart toilet roll holders, and I get it, it's networked in, but really basic to really advanced and super intelligence. We ain't talking about the super intelligence here. We're just talking about a really cool Indiana Jones machine learning type ability. And maybe it will put together some of these documents. And if it does, here's the bad news. If there's anything really secret and really world-changing in there, still a good chance we ain't ever going to get to see it, right? So bear that in mind. So if I bring this back up here, it says, before attempting to reconstruct artifacts, the AI model learned how to reverse the erosion process and predict what original fragments looked like. Researchers then defined how the model should test whether fragments fitted together. The task in archaeology, the tasks in archaeology are classic computer vision problems, says Ms. Tal. But they are much more difficult in archaeology because the objects are not nicely behaved. We want to transform our archaeology and we want to advance computer vision because these tasks are where current algorithms fail. IBM Japan and Yamagata University last year presented the first geoglyph, a large human-made ancient formation or design on the ground identified by AI. The task required huge amounts of high-resolution image data, which IBM saw as both a challenge and an opportunity to test its AI and computing capabilities. These geoglyphs are not only spread across miles of land, but the nature of the landscape means it can be difficult to discern clues that point to new formations, says Akihisa Sakarue, an IBM engineer. So it gets into more about the deep mind and all that kind of stuff, folks, but that was the important part. The fact that it's a no-brainer that they were going to be using them in archaeology, but kind of cool how they do it. You know, a faded away document, can't see words, would be guessing, put them in. It can literally regress that kind of aging process in its wee machine learning way that it does. And don't even ask the people who made it how it does it, because that's there when you get to the black box problem. Not the one in a plane, which is orange anyway. I know. Probably need to get rid of that term now. Maybe we need to call it the orange box. Orange boxes matter. But yeah, the black box problem. It's like Schrodinger's cat. You literally can't look into this one to see how it goes on. How it arrives at its independent little decisions, nobody knows. And that's where people say the problem comes. Especially when you start talking about general intelligences. And when it comes to general intelligence, ain't much of that kicking about on this stream. So with that said, I'm going to go and get ready for Scotty Lopez. I'm really, really stoked you came and hung out with me today. I hope you like the cool archaeology. Underwater archaeology as well. Sea country. There's a new term that we learned today. Probably everyone in the chat's going, we know that anyway, Kev. Well, that's okay. I learned something new. And we're going to get into a whole host of things with Scotty Lopez, maybe Joe Joseph, in 22 minutes' time. Yes, over on tfrlive.com or over on Discord. And if you are on Discord or you want to get on Discord, that's okay. I will post a link in the chat while the outro music is on. A big shout out to ZX. Lisa as well. She's not been around, Lisa, for a while. She's working nights and things, so I get that. But they're the admins over at Discord. Got a couple more in there as well. I think Scotty Lopez, he's one. But big shout out to you guys for helping to keep that running along smoothly. So, with that said, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to put on the crazy tunes. And then, folks, remember, I will be live over on TFR in 21 minutes and counting. Yes, so I hope you all join me over there. And remember, it will also be over in Discord. And I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be simulcasting Freaky Friday. We'll be having a pre-show stream. And then it's the weekend. Full stream ahead. And hold that thought. Just wait till you hear who's coming on. Warrior mode this Sunday. Yes, Cheryl Jones from Coast to Coast AM is going to be gracing the stream here over on KBS 1 with Bill Bean. But not only that, we're also going to be joined by, and I'm super stoked to announce this because he rarely goes on any show, we're going to be joined by George Norrie's producer, Tom Danheiser. He's going to be here on the show as well. He's going to be calling in live from America. during our show with another Coast to Coast member, and that is Cheryl Jones. Am I grinning from earhole to earhole? Oh, you better believe it, folks. So until next time, keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo.